What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It is New Year's, it's 2022, and my car is completely taken apart right now. All the arms are broken, all the bumpers and stuff is up there, and that is because we did break stuff at Winter Jam last year, at Sonoma Winter Jam. So we are doing a little bit of maintenance. We are refreshing the suspension and we are changing up the body style. But since it's a new year, that means we got some goals we should talk about. Because it is a new year, I want to try some new things, try out new look, new everything. And so I'm gonna try to keep the suspension the same so it's still drivable and not too crazy. But I got a lot of plans in store, so let's talk about them. So what happened at Winter Jam? So you can see arms snapped. You know, no one's fault, not the welder's fault. Really hard. There's a lot of abuse on these arms, and there's a reason why people don't run. See, these are polyurethane bushings, and so with caster arms, let's see, give me an example. When you put the arm into the subframe, so it goes in like that. When you adjust caster, it moves the arm this way and this way. You can see the bushing does not have room to move that direction. It's literally kind of just straight. So it's meant to move up and down. So you move up and down, but when you move left and right, it puts tension on the arm. And you can see it was pushed out a little bit on one side. And so I'm pressing these spherical bushings from Figs Engineering. You can see they're a bearing and they allow for movement to go side to side and up and down at the same time without any binding. Figs has a better video, so I'll link it in the description. Other than replacing an arm, keeping much everything the same, the suspension the same, we're keeping we are keeping the coilover, keeping the cast arm. This ball joint is still good. It's only have like maybe 200 miles at most. Keeping the arms, not this arm, the new arm, and then replacing inner tie rods, outer tie rods, and the rotors. So what is changing for 2022? Well, for starters, the 326 wing is actually got to go. So I will be removing that, and already have a buyer lined up. It's one of the homies picking it up for me. But yeah, I'm actually just bolted on by 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. So it's not too bad. I had a random guy come up to me at the track and ask me if I had trouble with this thing coming loose or falling off. But no, nothing loose. I mean, you guys can see this is pretty ghetto. So, but I don't really care. But if you guys have a wingless trunk, I am looking for one. So hit your boy up. This is GGP, looking for a wingless trunk. Let me know, or carbon fiber. I'm down for either. These wheels are also for sale. These are staged night wheels. They're not scratched, they just have some like tire marks in them. They'll come off right there, see? But they're 17 by 8 plus 10 and 17 by 8 plus 35. They are a staggered offset, so if you guys want them, hit me up. Yeah, this fender was destroyed after the accident. Not really an accident, but after the wheel kind of bent the other way. And so I do have another fender. Thank you, Carl, for providing this fender. It is a GGP, so it will work out. Minor flaws is kind of this dent right here and smushed in right there, but the side skirt's going to cover that up, so not really that big of a deal. And you know, you can see that tail light, the homie from Texas sent it out, so shout out to you. Should be coming pretty soon. It exactly is the same tail light as the other. It is an LED tail light. He was able to send, he had a spare one, so which worked out. He had a spare one, and yeah, got it for a good deal, so appreciate you, homie. All right, for 2022, I don't want to do too much modifications to, you know, how the car drives. So pretty much most of the mods that will be coming this year will be for looks, for visuals, for style, because I did lack in that department. I've been running a bunch of knockoff shit for the last 2 years, and it's time to actually be a cool human being and run some legit parts. I'm not hating on the fake parts, even though some people will, whatever, but it did get me through the last 2 years and drifting perfectly fine. But now that I can afford to run a little nicer things, I think it's time that I do, and I can worry less about breaking things just because my skill is a little bit better than it was before. So I can run nicer wheels, a nicer kit, and all this other stuff without worrying about breaking too much things from a bad accident. I mean, things will happen as I begin to get better at tandeming and then getting closer to other people, but the trade-off. So definitely will be going a new look route, and what am I gonna do with it? Stay tuned. I will, however, get my car ready for boost, and I don't mean the car itself. I do have a spare motor, so. You guys might remember that I had a spare white IS300 that I parted out not too long ago, and I collected parts from it, and so I do have spare head, and I have a block just sitting right here in this bag. It needs some work, definitely needs some work. But I'm gonna do it slowly and I'm gonna do it right. So what I'm gonna do first is get this head out to a machine shop, get a machine, get it cleaned up, get it looking nice. And then I'm looking for non-VVTi pistons from a 2JZ GE from a SE300 or the first gen GS300. Or, you know, if I can find GTE pistons, that would be even better, but they're probably more expensive, so I'm not gonna go that route. But if I can find some rods, pistons, that would be great. I could put this motor together for really cheap. So that motor will not go into this car this year. It's strictly just prepping and building it because I still want to drive, and putting that motor into the car and boosting it. It's gonna take some time to put it in, to sort things out, get the parts and all that stuff with building a car. So that's not the plan. It's just to build it on the side while I can still drift and still have time to use this car while it's still working. So visual wise, I don't want to give out too much details, but I do have a cool vision for the car. It's going to be a whole different look. And so what I mean by that, it's going to have new color. It's going to have probably a livery this year, which I got to find out who I can work with to do a cool livery. I'm not going to rush into it because I know it does take time, it costs money, and I'm not just trying to jump into any livery. I want it to look cool with my brand. So have a cool livery, finally get some cool wheels, run a good fitment. I'm running 17s right now, and I want to run a 17, 18 stagger that I used to run before, but I just never had cool wheels. My favorite setup was back in I'm trying to think of it. The end of 2020, maybe December, it was Good Luck League. I was running some fake CR wheels, and they were 17, 18 staggered, 17 front, 17 by 8 in the front, 17 by 8.5 in the rear. And I just liked the way it looked, how the rear filled the gap, and the front just had a good meaty tire fitment. And so I want to run that setup again with some legit wheels. I can't tell you what I'm going to get because that's still in the works as well. But overall, I think this year will be a whole new look, and I think you guys will enjoy it. Trying not to go the traditional route. Traditional, I mean like BN kit, super stance, stuff like that. I'm trying to make it a little bit different. Even though with IS300, it's pretty hard to be pretty different unless you go a custom route. So we'll see how that turns out, because you know, it costs a lot of money, but this year I'm willing to put the time, money, and an investment into it because I'm not working so much on the suspension components. It's mostly the cosmetics, so I have more time and effort to focus on that. Also, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that my tow rig has been totaled, so I don't have a specific tow car to tow my car to the track anymore. And so until I can find a new tow rig, which the market is ridiculously crazy, I'm not trying to buy a 2002 Toyota for $20,000. It's just not worth it. I'm gonna convert this to more, but it's already a street car. It drives like a street car, it handles well, but I am going to make it more comfortable. I might put an LSD back in there, as well as, you can see I'm not running extended arms anymore. Before I was running extended arms, but now I'm gonna run stock arms for a couple of reasons. One, when you run extended arms, it ruins your geometry of the car. And so you sometimes need to move your rack forward to reduce the binding, or running rack offset spacers, which I don't want to run because I heard mixed reviews about them. And so I want to go back to a very simple traditional setup with just, stock arms, angle kit, and that's it. I don't have a lot of angle. It's just a standard angle kit from Excessive. And so keep it simple. And two, the second reason is if something does happen while I'm driving to the track, like say an arm breaks again from just, I hit a huge bump or a pothole, I can go to the store or I can bring spares and run another one. Because when you run extended ones, you have to extend every ones that you get, and I don't want to buy a pair just to extend them as a spare. I'd rather just have a stock set that I can have as a spare ready to swap out if anything happens at the track. Because the goal of drifting is to drift as much as you can for as cheap as possible for as long as you can, right? So if you can just swap out parts in like 20 minutes and go back on track, that's the best option. But if you break an arm and you don't have the same exact arm, you're pretty much done for the day. You gotta figure out how to get home, because if I'm driving to the track, I can't just drive back if I don't have the spare part. I have to call AAA or find a tow truck, all this stuff. So trying to keep it simple this year, narrowing it down to things that I can swap and replace at the track. So keeping it simple, as well as fixing the geometry of my car, because I do have binding. It's hard to explain, like when I'm turning a full lock and then trying to bring it back, I have to kind of like force it back a little bit, and it's like a little dead zone where it doesn't work. And I don't know if it's the power steering, which I doubt it's the power steering, but I think it is getting stuck at full lock. So what is next for Lunatics Driving Club? So I've been a little quiet on that because at the end of the year, there was a lot of things. I started a new job, just a lot of things going on, a lot of moving pieces. And so for this year, I will be hosting events still. Plan to host 3 events, maybe 4, specific 3 events this year, each quarter until before winter. And the first quarter will be a practice day. We'll be at the big skid pad, and it'll be around April. So stay tuned for that. I want my track days, my track year when I host events to look like this. The first track day of the year will be a practice day, warm-up session. It'll be a track layout where you can focus on different parts of the track. It will help you focus on different things. So that's kind of the goal for the first event of the year. And then 2 more drift days throughout the year, and then hopefully hit ABS at Full Valley Speedway again at the end of the year. Not the end of the year, probably like end of summer, fall. So we got time to figure it out, but I gotta start planning it soon because spots fill up quick. So I will let you guys know in the next month for our first event. So it'll be a small one just because it's gonna be our practice day. I want a lot of seat time. I want people to go on track and take their time on track and figure out certain things that they always wanted to do without having to cause a huge commotion in line. And so it's really just for you to dedicate some time to just practice a specific technique, clutch kicks, entries, high speeds, tandems, whatever you want. So it'll probably be limited to about 15 drivers or so that we can get a good practice in. So that is a plan for Lunatics Driving Club. So I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys are ready for 2022. Hopefully we get a drive together. I hope you guys come out to the event. I know last year a lot of it was closed due to COVID, so not a lot of spectators can come out, but this year hopefully everything's back to normal, even though COVID hit hard this New Year's. I did have COVID last week, probably still do for a bit. I've been quarantining at home, so been thinking of all the things I want to do for next year. So hope you guys like this video. If you guys are subscribed, thank you. If you're not, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.